So when you go to the field and you are thinking about the empirical questions that you want to ask, I would suggest you to think up front about three kind of things, three different types of things you can actually ask about. And these are basically all start with this C. First, you can ask about concepts that you are interested in. Like the example I gave you, you can ask about how the prior knowledge or learning happened through empirical questions. You can ask about the transfer of those lessons to the new practices, to the new collaborations. You can ask about collaboration. You can ask about the data optimization. Next to that, you can, and in many cases you should, ask empirical questions that guide you towards the relations. How the prior knowledge enables or prevents the reapplication of the knowledge. So if you know about A and B, but you don't know how A is impacting B, you don't ask about the arrows, you don't explore the arrows, then you haven't done a complete job on your data collection, on your description. And the third C is about the context. You hear the word context so many times in your conversations with your supervisors, with your literature, and so forth. Context, just to put it simple, means everything else which is important to know about, but it's not basically any of these core concepts and relations. And whatever else it's important to know about as the background to interpret and understand these concepts and relations is called context. If you are interested in the incentives of individuals to opt out from the online privacy policies, the impact of incentives on the behavior, online behavior, then culture is not any of your core concepts. But then when you collect your data, you need to collect data about the context. You need to know that is this in, for instance, in Spain or it's in Germany that you are collecting data about. Even if you don't put culture as one of your core concepts or variables in your research question. So if you think of the tip of the iceberg, on top of this tip of iceberg, in the empirical inquiry, we see concepts and relations. Underneath, there are so many other things that you need to know about enough that you can interpret and understand what you know about the concepts and relations. So, any question here? We just talked about two important points. Research question needs to be translated into a set of empirical questions. When you think about the empirical questions, it's not just you only think about the concepts. You should think about the relations and the context. One example, and then we go for a quick break. So research question is interesting. The research question smells theory, at least as I see here. And the design choices are thought about. I already highlighted a couple of little red stuff there. The dangerous ant. So in this case, if you are interested in the how large-scale organizations develop ambidexterity to cope with the challenges between the agile working and architecture management, I would say that I would visualize your research question this way. So organizational ambidexterity is helping the managers to seek I would say, the kind of alignment, right, between agile working and enterprise architecture. I mean, context is basically the whole environment in which these things happen. The fact that it is in the large scale organization. What does it mean, large scale organization? It can be many different things. They have a lot of resources, they have a lot of politics, they have many divisions, they have fragmented business structure, they have a lot of hierarchical layers, they have divergent views. You see, there are many things. So all these things become actually understanding the jungle in which you look at this is impacting you. Okay,